Hello and welcome, friends. Today we are having the topic the rules of work. We all work for some or other purpose with a specific motive and with a specific desire to achieve something. However, often we face many problems when we accept any assignment, work on a particular project, or some task which is assigned to us either by the organization or by our superiors. Before we accept any such assignment, we should know what for we are going to work and what are the basic rules of work. If we understand the rules of work, naturally we can perform better, we can do the best, and we can contribute to achieve the desired goals. Therefore, let us understand what are the primary rules of doing a particular task or performing a job. The most important thing, everyone, whosoever is working in an institution or organization, must know the role he is assigned. If I do not know the role assigned to me, I may not be able to perform as expected. Either I will underperform or I will do something which is not expected of me. And therefore, one should always know what is his exact position, his function, his responsibility, and the kind of work he is supposed to do. There are certain key things that one should always keep in mind. The first and the most important is the responsibility. Every person working in an organization is responsible for certain tasks, assignments, jobs, and duties. If we know our responsibilities well, then we can definitely give justice to our task. We should also know the kind of authority vested in us. We cannot order someone something more than what we can, or we cannot do something which is beyond our capacity or entrusted authority. If we do so, we may violate the fundamental principle of working in an organization. The third is very important, and that is the functional contents. Every task has certain contents. We should know what I am expected to do, where I am expected to start, and where my task comes to an end. In many cases, we do something more than what is expected. Naturally, it may not have the desired effect on the organization or on the overall results expected. Every organization is controlled and regulated by certain systems. It is always good to achieve the results, but we should not violate the fundamental system and the structure in which we are working. Going beyond the system means violating the fundamental principle of working in a group, working in an organization, working for a particular mission for which the organization works. Often, one may achieve his personal targets, but at the same time, he may damage to the reputation and credibility of the organization. This is often not expected. The most important thing is the level of participation. Everyone is expected to perform for the organization or the institution. Naturally, this depends on the level of participation. We are supposed to do certain things. That means there is a beginning and end point that restricts our responsibility, our task, our contribution, and in every way what we are supposed to do. If we understand this, then naturally we can perform well, we can participate according to expectations of the team, according to the expectations of our superior, and according to the expectations of the organization and society at large. Please, before we start working on any assignment, task, or project, we should understand certain things. The most important thing is the likely threats, difficulties, challenges, and problems that one may encounter. Many times there are various environmental limitations. We often feel that I should do this job in a particular manner. But before we start, please consider what are the constraints of organization, of external factors, of the environment. Because performance, though, is essential, at the same time, performance should not violate the fundamental rules of institution and the society. There are limits of relationships. We are often working as a superior, peer, subordinate in some position in some organization. Naturally, our relationships are defined by the kind of role given to us. The peers, the associates, the colleagues also are performing certain tasks. How and what they are supposed to do, we should not overact. At the same time, we should not undermine our responsibilities. We should not overtake someone's responsibility. We should not overdo something. We should not do the task which someone else is expected to perform. There are regulatory limitations also. Every institution has its own norms, regulations, and rules regarding performance. We have to obey, understand, and follow all these regulatory limitations. Violation of authority is never accepted and liked in any organization. There are certain ethical norms which are very important. We should follow the code of conduct, the responsibility norms, as well as the standard work rules and procedures assigned or given in the organization. Every organization usually prepares a works manual, performance manual, as well as code of conduct. It is always advisable to follow these ethical standards and never to perform some certain things just for the sake of achievement by violating certain basic ethical standards. There are even informal codes how one should talk, respect, obey, behave, and even communicate as well as order to his subordinates, peers, and even superiors. What should be the norm of behavior in a group that should be rightly followed so that everyone develops a feeling of affinity and association. There are certain other things that we have to take into account. The first and the most important thing is the system of performance, the mode in which we are expected to perform a task. If at all we have performed a task, what is the order of performance? So that we can do the things in an expected and desired manner, we can maintain the system, we can maintain the discipline, and of course, after completion of the task, we should take a follow whether the task is completed as expected, whether the task is done as to the requirements of others or those who are dependent or associated with that task, so that they also can perform their responsibilities and duties well. Please remember, every task assigned to a person is an opportunity. It gives him a chance to prove his ability, his competence, his caliber, and the manner in which he is expected or he works in a given group or organization. Opportunity is there for everyone. Whosoever is ready and willing to perform can always get a chance to do better, perform better, and of course, get due credit for his performance. Please never try to keep yourself away from the responsibilities and opportunities. The person who thinks that I will not do this now, I will not perform now, I will try for some other time, opportunity, some other time, usually he misses the bus. Most important thing, there are certain hidden threats in every task, in every. In this world, there is nothing which is free from risk and threats. But that doesn't mean we should not accept a challenge. That doesn't mean we should not accept a new task. That doesn't mean we should not accept a minimum required but essential aspect of risk. The most important thing, every task, when performed, has its present and future consequences. Before we start working on a particular assignment or project or task, we should also know, rather, we should visualize what are the likely consequences. Can we face these changes? Can we face these new challenges? Can we face the consequences of such a performance? And if we feel that the consequences of any activity that we are going to perform shall be favorable to us, then we should always go ahead with it. Examine the intentions of those who are expecting us to perform the task, those who will be benefited, those who are working with us, and accordingly decide how you are supposed to perform your role. Most important thing, please always take into account expectations of others. Those who can satisfy the expectations of others usually get goodwill, reputation, recognition, and they are given better jobs in the future also. And therefore, understanding the opportunities is another important task. Sometimes you will be having some people working with you, your associates, your colleagues, your peers, your juniors, subordinates. There will be different types of people working with you, working for you, and of course, you are working for them and working with them. It is essential that everyone in the group should be rightly recognized. No one should be insulted. If at all your colleague, your subordinate has done well, please say, yes, very good, you have done a wonderful job. Compliment him. And if someone fails, say, do not worry, try next. Try next time. You will be having a better future. You will be having a better luck, and you will also overcome the mistakes. Learn from the mistake. That is the advice which one is expected to give to others as his superior, as his colleague, or sometimes even as a friend. Do not discourage your friends, your peers, your group workers. Never, because that will not only insult them, that will demoralize them. That will reduce their productivity and efficiency in certain ways. That will also make them feel that they are not required. Many times, a single word of discouragement may cause a great harm than a large number of words of praise. Very important thing. Even if someone does a small thing, very ordinary thing, still recognize it. Because recognition is the thing that keeps a man alive, that retains his interest, and find out what others can do, what your colleagues can do. Find out their potential, their competency, their caliber, and make them to work with these qualities to utilize their competence to the fullest extent. Often we feel that people who have a negative approach, who always discourage others, who always feel that this task can never be performed, usually create a negative climate, negative environment. They spread a word of dissatisfaction and often discouragement. This is not good. It is, of course, in every organization, in every institution. Sometimes we may not work according to the expectations of others. We may not achieve the desired targets. That is a common thing. No one is no one can ever succeed in every endeavor every time. Sometimes there will be failures. Sometimes there will be many problems. Sometimes there will be external factors that will stop you from doing what you can to the fullest extent. These are all the things which are beyond our control. Does it mean we should not work? Does it mean that we should not accept challenge? No, we should accept challenge. We should try to set our own standards, our own targets with a specific vision that yes, this time I could not do this, but next time I will do better than this. No sooner we concentrate on our goals, define our goals, and start working for them ceaselessly, continuously, we usually can make desired achievements. We usually can achieve the desired targets. We can often even overcome the set targets and perform better. But for which the most essential thing is a positive attitude. Many times we often come across a situation that in the organization, when an assignment is given to a person in the group, all the group members prefer to maintain silence. They do not talk, they do not ask questions. That is very wrong. Everyone will have certain difficulties before he starts, will have certain doubts, will have certain questions and queries which he should always ask, such as what is the purpose of this particular task? What is the likely end result? Which method I should adopt, which procedure I should follow, who will be the persons who will be working in my group as associates, peers, colleagues, who will be my supervisors, and what are the chances of success. These are the fundamental questions which one should ask, because of which he can set his vision rightly on the target. He can estimate before he starts the likely threats and challenges. He can even identify his own weaknesses and strengths, and accordingly he can plan how he should work. And therefore, asking questions is the most essential aspect of performing the task in an effective manner. Sometimes, whenever we are working in a group, many people help us directly or indirectly. What they expect, they do not expect a reward, especially a monetary reward, but they expect that we should acknowledge them. We should say, yes, you have done something for me. I am really thankful to you. Appreciate their efforts, their contribution. This is a very important aspect of business etiquettes. This indicates a kind of mindset of a civilized person. When we acknowledge others, when we appreciate others, they start helping us even after us completion of a particular assignment. We develop a long-term association, a healthy relationship. And this is what is the essence of good human relations. That is why we should always say thanks if someone helps us, if someone guides us, if someone tells us something new, something useful, or even contributes to our task. First and the most important thing, always request a person for his cooperation, never order, because order means we are trying to play the role of a superior. Many people do not like this attitude. Many people feel that we are playing the role of a dictator, and that is how our relations are automatically but silently damaged. It definitely matters as to how we address people. If we are polite, positive, and have a very congenial tone, then naturally we can attract many people towards us. We can develop a bond of human relations and a good group, healthy climate, which can help us to perform even the difficult tasks. Many times, whenever we are working in a group, the most significantly observed problem is how we listen to people. The general human tendency is not to listen to others, but to tell, explain, command, and even in certain cases dictate others. A person who cannot listen to others usually cannot work with others properly. Good human relations and group work always requires that one should be a good listener. He should be willful, polite, empathetic, and honest and sincere. If I show desired sincerity when I am listening to others regarding their suggestions, their complaints, their ideas, their views, they feel that yes, this is a work, this is a task which has certain useful outcomes, which is interesting, which is worth doing. Most important thing, always be focused and attentive when you are talking and listening to others. Because if we do not show the desired interest, people also withdraw their willingness to work, their interest, their approach towards the work and to the person who is not listening to him automatically becomes negative. There are certain things which we should also take into account. The first and the most important thing is ethics. Sometimes a task which is good in a particular situation may have certain ethical constraints. People may not like it, people may not feel it appropriate, people may not feel that this is the way that we should perform or do a particular task. And therefore, before we start, please explain our group members how this particular task is appropriate in a specific context. What are the ethical dimension and what are the practical aspects? Set right type of rules and norms which everyone will be willing to accept, and never do or cause any injustice to anyone while distributing the work, while discussing about the work, while performing a particular task, or while even rewarding the people who are working with us. If we follow all these things, naturally the work automatically becomes a meaningful game and not a burden. There are some other aspects regarding work. The most important thing is the legalities, the norms, regulations, and the modes of performance. Always adhere to the procedures and rules. First, read the policies regarding performance, regarding assignment of tasks, regarding rewards, etc. Because every organization sets certain policies. Though we are expected to perform and achieve a particular task, at the same time, we are supposed to follow the policies, work standards, and norms. If we do not follow these norms, then performance carries no meaning, because instead of benefiting the organization, it may damage the reputation, and it may even cause damage to the interest of the organization. And hence, acceptance of rules becomes essential. Never find out a shortcut. Follow the complete procedure. Never make a breach in any way. Believe that regulations are for betterment of the group, for the organization. And most important thing, always have faith in the norms and rules laid down by the superiors. If you have a doubt, question them. Clarify your doubts. But without questioning, without asking, and without resolving your doubts, if we change on your own any rule, any procedure, it may cause harm to you. There is another thing which is related with the person who is doing the work. Every person has his own competence, capacity, as well as efficiency and productivity level. No two persons can have the same competence level. Naturally, the performance of two different persons in the same group will be different. If at all we feel that a particular person can perform better, can do better, then we should give him an opportunity. But please remember, anyone who wants to perform should first consider what are the standards as to performance. Whether this particular performance can be achieved with a given type or mode of work behavior, and whether he is following the required ethical standards and rules. Never disturb or insult your colleagues and group members just because you want to perform something. Have healthy and congenial relations with your colleagues and superiors, because your performance, though very important, at the same time the relations that you develop in the organizations are also equally important. Sometimes people are working in a great haste. They want to achieve everything very fast. They want to have quick benefits. No, every time you cannot get quick benefits and recognition and rewards. Just to get benefits or seek certain advantages, you should not lie. You should not take something which is not correct. You should not overdo something which is not required. Because if one lies, in long term, his image is totally tarnished. People start disbelieving a person who is not honest, who is not committed. It is advisable that we should have a transparent work standard and the right way of working in a given situation or group without using any coercive approach, without harassing someone, without creating a false impression about certain things. That is the way we should work. The most important thing whenever we are performing a task is documentation. In many cases, people, though perform well, they do not maintain necessary records. When we do not keep records, we cannot often prove as to what I have done, what procedure I have followed, and in what way I have worked. Sometimes, just to achieve the set standards, people work in a hurried manner. They make a haste. They do not maintain necessary records because of which evidences are not available, and therefore they cannot get right recognition and rewards. If at all one feels that his work should be rightly recognized and acknowledged, then he must maintain necessary documents and records so that he can prove, yes, this is what I have done. One should never miss the necessary documents which he is expected to maintain regarding commencement of work, regarding performance and procedures, and regarding achievements. That will help you not only to create your right image but establish you as a good, sincere, honest worker in any organization. Documentation has to be in a very orderly manner. All necessary papers and documents should be rightly arranged, filed, and properly classified because that will help you to prove as to what procedure I have followed. That will help others to follow your example. A person who maintains necessary documents properly automatically becomes a role model. A good organization usually expects everyone to work in a fair, honest manner. Similarly, everyone individual working in an organization is expected to develop right contacts, establish right relationships, develop very friendly relationship with all his colleagues, subordinates, so that he can create a very favorable, congenial climate. It will create a healthy atmosphere because of which many conflicts, many disbeliefs and confusions and misconceptions can be automatically removed. A feeling of faith, confidence is automatically created, and because of which a sportsman spirit is generated. People, when work in a healthy, positive manner, can easily accept a defeat or a failure and even still can overcome it with a great confidence and retaliate a difficult situation. And that is why cultivating right relationships becomes essential in every organization. To develop contacts, we should have an orderly approach. We should address people properly. We should talk to them politely. We should understand their roles. We should also accept that every person has certain difficulties and he should be given a right chance to overcome such problems and difficulties. In case if needed, we should also offer him a hand of help. Similarly, when we talk to others, when we communicate with others, we should maintain necessary documents and papers so that we can have a clear conscious of mind that everything is rightly informed, communicated, and is expected to be performed in a specific manner. A feeling of doubt and confusion usually results into acrimonious debates and sometimes quarrels and even a very unhealthy relationship. So it is essential that we should understand motives of others, expectations of others, how they are expected to perform, what they expect from the organization, what they expect from their peers and colleagues. And after understanding this, if we assign a task, then we can get desired cooperation from everyone. Many times we develop a specific impression even before talking to a person, even before working with him, because we have certain prejudices, presumptions about people who are working with us. It is wrong because the intrinsic value of the person can be understood only when we start working with him in an open mind. And please remember, it is the intrinsic value of a man, his character, his abilities, his attitude, his beliefs that matters more than his face value, that is his position and the task assigned to him. If we understand people well, we can always perform well, we can do better. And therefore, understand motives of the people who are working with you. Some people work with a hidden agenda. They do not disclose what they really want to achieve. Naturally, such kind of people have a deceptive attitude. Understand them, read their behavior, learn from their responses, and study their gestures and reflexes. A study of body language always helps a man to perform better in a group. He can even understand and analyze what are the people, who are the people who are working for him, who are not working with him, and who are working independently and with certain different intentions and motives. That is how we can try to work with people. Please remember, in organization we cannot choose colleagues, we cannot choose superiors and peers. We cannot choose subordinates every time. And therefore, whosoever is working with us, we have to form a team with him. We have to develop healthy relations. And therefore, reading and understanding intentions of people becomes very essential. There is a simple rule to understand and examine the behavior of others. First, have a very clear assumption that everyone plays for himself. That is, no one is philanthropic, no one is generous enough to help you by sacrificing his interest. No one is ready to work for you by avoiding the responsibility assigned to him. And normally, everyone likes to protect one's interest. Naturally, under such circumstances, if we understand these things as constraints, we can definitely do better. We can work in a group. Protecting one's interest is not bad, but at the same time, causing harm to the other's interest is definitely damaging and bad. Therefore, we should encourage people to work for their interest, but not to cause harm to the interest of others. That is how we should work in the group. Thank you.